Hello everybody and welcome to Dynamic GT League's Teams with a Twist series for race 8 of 9 from Blue Moon Bay Reverse. Joining us on commentary as we take a look at the standings is Ray. I hope you're well, Ray.
Very well, how's yourself?
Not bad. I can't believe Art Pal could potentially become a champion at this race. However, if we haven't mentioned it before, we should mention that this season is not for a Gold Star Championship. Sorry, it's not for a Gold Star, is it? It's not a Gold Star Championship. What colour stars will the champion earn, Ray?
A copper one.
Well, a sheriff's badge.
No,
Cool. That was a pretty good joke. You said a copper one, I said a sheriff's badge. The fans are laughing, even if you're not. Okay, so yeah, Arpal could win the championship in this race. With the teams, I don't think the teams could win. I don't think the Twats can win the team standings in this one. And we do have BMW Fartlag and Rod on Your Nelly tied. But unfortunately, Ray, we do have a couple of drivers missing today. Conrad and Rich Blues, both unable to get their cars updated and onto the track. As we see Artpal on pole position with Critical in second place.
Yeah, and then we've got Jimmy third with Nelly fourth.
Yeah.
And then Gary on fifth with Rich Blues in sixth.
No, that's SGP.
Is that SGP?
Yeah,
yeah, it is.
Yeah, Rich isn't here. SGP on pole for the Group 4s. Demon R second for the Group 4s. Steve F1 third for the Group 4s. Can you tell I've lost position? SRI fourth for the Group 4s. Jason fifth for the Group 4s. And Twilight sixth. And given the number of drivers on the grid, I think all of the Group 4s may get boost here. So anyway, as we get ready for the race to begin. Group 4 lights, 5 lights, and away they go!
It
wasn't it?
Arpal got a good launch, but Jimmy didn't.
SGP got an awful launch, didn't he? From pole of the Group 4s to last of the Group 4s.
There we go, Critical with Nelly and Jimmy. Oh, Critical's a wee bit later on the brakes and makes his space up towards Arpal.
Yeah.
Is that Gary? Is that Gary? Yeah.
It was, yeah. I think Gary had a lightning start. Jimmy covering the inside line. Now, last time out, Critical won the race. Let's see if he's got the pace to do so today. But for the Group 3s, though, Ray, this hairpin's going to be a very tricky one on the exit of the corner. But then I suppose the next 3 corners are going to be a bit tricky for them as well. See who can carry the speed through these sort of kinks, and then which car can handle the bump onto the main straight.
And that bump is an evil bump for these Group 3s and Group 4s, because we've seen in practice some of the Group 4s getting sideways.
Yep.
So Group 3s seem okay going over that bump.
Yeah, Gary though, I think may have just got a little high. I think he got away with it. I think there was so he's lost a bit of time to Nelly.
What was he taking?
Well, that's I'm not allowed to tell anybody. It was a white powdery stuff. But no, so I think there's a groove that the cars can take. I've said it.
It was high baked.
Okay, okay, so Artpal taking a tight line into the hairpin. Critical!
He just wanted to get enough space to go forward. He don't want to reverse it with all these cars coming.
Absolutely not. He's going to lose a load of places, which means Twilight, Jason is leading the Group 4s. He's now probably not going to get boost, and that's because Gary has also dropped back. Gary's run wide. Oh dear.
Oh, nightmare for Gary. So far, he was up there as well with Jimmy. He's just falling past. Is that him spinning?
Yeah.
I think that's Gary in the background spinning as well. So here we go. Critical try to get around and the inside of SRI.
Yeah.
And then he's going. Oh, thank God Twilight's seen him. He could get put in the wall there.
Absolutely. Nice to see that Critical's got an arrow on the top of his car telling him which direction to drive. As we see Critical. Oh, Critical just tags the barrier. Got his teammate ahead of him. Now, is it worth Critical bump drafting Jason here?
It'd be too slow for him when he's wanting to try and get as much points because he's in the hunt to try and get close to the Art Pal, so he wants to get past all these Group 4s and bugger off and catch Nelly and Jimmy.
Also, thinking about it, I mean, if he come round the last couple of corners and Jason was ahead of him, yes, bump draft your teammate down that main straight, they will gain loads as that Steve F1 this time going a little bit wide.
It's hard to tell, I don't know where Gary is. It must be Steve F1.
Yeah,
who's Gary?
Gary, well, he's recovering from that spin he had at the corner we've just seen. And I think he had the spin because he got wide in the left-hand kick. Oh, Demon wobbly! Jason got wobbly. That's what I was on about with the groove. I think if you get a little bit too high when you, not high, but when you get a little bit too far up the track, when you're transitioning onto the slope, yeah, it's a little bit evil up there.
Yeah, it's definitely Steve F1 because Gary would have flew past by now. So Demon are attacking Jason into this right-hander. SRI getting the run. Is it going to get the run on the both of them? We come down to this double right-hander. SRI taking the tighter line. Is he going to shut the door in Jason? Or Jason's up the inside.
Jason's already there. Jason's got a tight line though. That'll compromise his exit. SGP trying to make a move on SRI as well. I don't think it's going to work. Oh, actually, it might do. But then we know that dodge is quick in a straight line, isn't it?
Yeah, SRI was blocked in by Jason, so if SRI got the better exit with Jason being tight, he couldn't go anywhere. But SGP's dropped a place.
Yes.
He's behind Twilight. I didn't see what happened there.
Did he have a penalty? Where's the penalty zone around here?
There.
There. Okay, so he didn't have a penalty. That was almost like it was scripted.
The line he was on.
Could have been, yeah.
He was on a tighter line with SRI on the outside.
Absolutely. Okay, looking at the pack camera.
Here comes Gary.
Oh, yeah.
Here he comes. Is that Gary or is that Steve F1? No,
I think that is. Gary. I think it is. Yeah, it is Gary. He probably won't be able to get a move done on many of these cars down into this section. It's a very slow sector for the Group 3s. So yeah, I was mentioning Art Power's broken away a little bit from Jimmy in second place, Nelly in third. I think Critical is slowly closing back in again on Nelly, as we've got two cameras looking at the same sort of action here, so making me feel a little bit double visioned.
I wonder what happened to Steve F1 because he was up with these guys. He's dropped back as well. So Gary trying carefully to get past everyone. Let's see how he gets on with this bump.
You know, well, I mean, Steve F1 had technical issues last week, didn't he? So it could be that, but also it could be, Demon R having a wobble again. Yeah, so Steve F1, you know what? I think Demon R at the moment isn't getting boost, but now Gary's got ahead of him. If Gary pulls away, Demon R could get boost. But if he's within a second of him, he won't get it. What's I going to say? Yeah, Steve F1.
That's alright, trying to sneak up the inside there. Sorry, on you go.
I
forgot you were about Steve.
Yeah, I was just thinking, tyre wear might be an issue for the Group 4s around this track, as Gary's on a very tight line here. That could compromise his speed, heading down to the hairpin, as Demon R's now got Jason sort of sniffing around him as well. Ooh!
Gary's in the grass.
I think Jason might have just tapped him in there.
So Gary's he did go for the move, he backed out. So which has put him further back into these Group 4s. He just needs to stay close to the rear of SRI through this corner and then just floor it coming out.
Absolutely. That car's got the speed. It's a Group 3 against these Group 4s. Get past these guys. He's already passed two of them. Yeah, get on down the road. Get past Demon R. and well, I thought for a moment he was going to bump draft him. Yeah, get past Demon Art and then crack on. He's not pulling away. Oh, okay, he is pulling away a bit more there. He didn't really look like it for a moment. Okay, yeah, so he's not pulled away as far as I thought he might have done. However, he's got a bit deep.
Might just save that as nearly 3 wide, Jason, SRI and Demon Art. Oh, SGP having a wee cheeky look as well.
I'm wondering. Oh, Demon Art! Spinner Rooney.
Don't know what happened there. If there's contact between him and SRI.
Yeah. What was it Lando Norris once said when he was asked if he was missing anything, and he said, "Yeah, talent."
Was it talent or what do you call that?
I don't know.
Not ego, like pride or something.
Oh, maybe he might have made a pride comment. Yeah, not an LBGTQXYZ pride comment, but now I was going to mention with Gary not pulling that far ahead of Demon R when Demon R's right behind him. So if Gary is less than a second ahead of the Group 4s, then the Group 4 right behind him won't get boost, which means the car right behind them won't get boost, which would potentially allow Steve F1 to close back in like he is doing now, whereas if all of the Group 4s have got boost, it's a lot harder for a Group 4 to close in. And from what I heard about the practice sessions, the Group 4s are going to struggle for their tyres around this track, which means if all of the Group 4s have got boost, when they make pit stops, could be very costly or very beneficial.
Yeah, we'll need to wait and see what's happening as we get Jason and SRI side by side going into the last corner.
Are they?
Yeah, they were, and then now we've got this battle. Steve, is that Steve F1?
Yeah. I thought I saw a car. Yeah, so is SGP. I thought I saw a car going slow at the exit of the final corner. So, I mean, well, that would suggest that either SGP and Twilight think they can do 24 laps on their tyres, or they're going to have another pit stop to do. Art Pal's tyres are absolutely fine. I think the Group 3 tyres will be because they're the racing hards. We're looking at Art Pal's lap times, 111s, 110s, looking fairly comfortable at the moment, as he has done for pretty much all of this championship run.
Yeah, Jimmy, all 11s, early 11s and 12s, critical 12s and 13s, Gary all over the place.
Yep.
Oh, look, teammates doing teammate things. You go off, Gary, I'll go off with you.
Can't tell you what, SRI and Jason are side by side. Steve F1's actually gone for the move up the inside of Jason on that occasion. So Steve F1, maybe if he was looking after his tyres early on, he's now back in the fight as Jason responds. Jason had a lot more tyre wear than I saw on Twilight. Demon R's got some, Steve F1's got a lot less. So maybe it was tyre conservation that Steve F1 was doing early on.
Yeah. As we see, Steve F1, Demon R and SRI bunched together. Gary just there, SRI will go defensive quite early out that corner.
Yeah. Now, this is the scenario where if Gary is close to SRI, or SRI is close to Gary, these guys won't get boost, and SGP, Twilight and Jason will be able to close the gap. But if we look at the track map, we're on the red arrow, and the car back on the track map is SGP. That's a big gap that isn't going to be coming down much unless Gary is close to the front of SRI's car.
Yeah, Gary up the wall. That was close as I think Demon R gave Steve F1 a wee boost there. Seen a puff of black smoke.
SRI I thought was taking that too high a line, but maybe that Mercedes is quite comfortable up there. Demon R is bump drafted Steve F1. Gary then moving over to give his teammate the slipstream. Yeah, I mean, tell you what, it is quite a big gap back to SGP at the moment. And Steve F1 now takes the lead of the Group 4s.
Gary, why is Gary going so tight?
Oh dear! I think he may have got a little bit lost of where he was for a moment there. That, though, now means Steve F1's not going to get boost. No, that's alright as he spins! Now Demon R's not going to get, but this is going to bring SGP and Twilight right back into this because they're going to have boost now over Steve F1 and Demon R.
Yeah, well, it's all gone Pete Pong at the moment. Oh, Demon R's on the grass, can he hold it? Just.
I mean, he's lost a bit of time. It'd be interesting if we see what lap times.
Here from that wall.
I reckon their lap times are going to come down to, or go up to about a 1:14, maybe a 1:15 here if we get to see it, because they're not going to be as quick without the boost. Yeah, 1:14 for Demon R, so Steve F1 would have been similar time. So SGP and Twilight with that boost will close the gap. And looking at the track map, there's a fast car overtaking a slower car into turn 1, which will be Formula Gary on SRI. Okay, Pat Camp, that's Art Powell.
Do we feel that the Group 4s are going to get lapped? Art Powell's on his start finish straight now.
Well,
here comes Gary.
I think it's a possibility. I suppose it depends on the pit stops, doesn't it? So Art Powell's going into turn 1 now, and there is a car ahead of him, which I would guess is possibly Jason. So it is a possibility, yeah.
Good. How close people want to get to that wall. That's a nice camera shot.
Yeah.
I hope they're paying that cameraman quite a few dollars, because no, look, somebody will probably hit him.
Yeah, plough right through him. And Gary passing Demon R. Looks like he's tucked in right behind Steve F1. Give him a bit of a boost. Now, interesting situation here.
There's that puff of smoke you see. But Gary's not passing him on the corner. He's left it too late to pass him.
Oh no, he hasn't.
Going for it. He's gonna compromise. Oh,
went a little bit deep there.
Should I let Steve F1 have the width of the track there, and that would keep his momentum up? He's now kind of shot with a foot here.
Yeah, he has a little bit. I mean, also, because Steve F1 is right behind Gary, Steve F1 now is not going to be getting boost. Whereas if Gary was further down the road, Steve F1 would be getting boost. So it's an interesting dynamic right there. But I mean, I think Gary's gone a bit wide. He's close. Well, Steve F1's closed that gap up. Steve getting through quicker. It's all right. Pit manoeuvres, Formula Gary. That's one way of getting him out of the way. And there is SGP. Look, after having done a pit stop, he is now right back in this.
I don't think there was much SRI could do there, but I'm trying not to be biased, but Gary was slow in that part of the corner and going sideways as he boosted Steve F1, and he's boosted him late, and that's not going to help him. He's keeping that tight line down there. He's not going to get the good line for the corner. Oh, nearly puts Demon R wide. I
think Demon R went wide all on his own, but yeah. I mean, well, this is the interesting thing, right? So, Steve F1 just ahead of Formula Gary is going to be lapping around about the 1:17s, I think it is. Steve F1 with Gary further up the road could lap in around about the 1:10s. Which is
Steve F1 was trying to let him through there. He came off the racing line to let Gary, but Gary's not went for it yet. And look, it is all kicking off here. A wee bit of contact with Demon R. SRI's learnt his lesson.
Aye, so this is where, okay, if I was Gary, or if I was Gary's teammate, I'd be saying, bump draft me down the straight a bit, but then bugger off. Because I can actually go faster if you're more than a second ahead. because Steve F1 isn't getting boost right now, but if Gary goes more than a second ahead, Steve F1 will have the boost, so he'll be able to lap faster. It's a weird dynamic because of how the boost works, and if there was no boost, then I could understand more of what Gary's doing. He's helping his teammate along, but yeah, because of the way the boost works, Steve F1 ahead of Gary will be doing lap time slower as Critical decides he doesn't want anything to do with the banked corner. He'll take that lower line. Not that he had much choice about it.
So I'll still in the 111, sorry.
111. Well, this is the thing. Something I was going to mention. You said about could the Group 4s get lapped as we got 3 wide, nearly into the middle sector. Aren't Pal's lapping in the consistent 111s? But I do believe the Group 4s with full boost can do 110s. So they might not get lapped depending on how many pit stops they may or may not have to do. Artpal's looking fairly comfortable though, and he has opened up quite a gap to second place, which is Jimmy. We might have a look at Jimmy in a minute. As you know what, Artpal is going on to the start-finish, and the Group 4s are only just ahead of him, aren't they?
Yeah, they're just coming into the first corner.
Yeah.
And we see Steve F1, Demon R and SRI. Gary ahead of them this time.
Yeah, I wonder if something might have happened to Steve F1 on the end part of that previous lap, because he was ahead of them. Didn't really look at it because we were looking at Demon R bit sideways and Steve F1. Yeah.
Puts SRI on grass duties.
Yep. Lawnmower man over there, please. I mean, I suppose it's possible Steve F1 didn't realise he was there if he was watching Demon R nearly spinning out. Okay, so let's see. I mean, this may be an interesting indicator of the speed difference of the Group 3s and Group 4s. Is Steve F1 going to close the gap on Gary through this final corner? Not a lot, but Gary didn't pull away. Whereas this now, right, okay, actually, let's look at Steve F1. Yeah, look at his last 5 lap times. 114, 15, 16. He's now done a 113 because Gary's a little bit further ahead. He's got the boost. Next lap around, he's probably going to be in the 111s, which means the cars behind him won't have an advantage over him. I mean, it's an unusual dynamic in this championship, that's for certain. Oh, Gary's on that tight line again.
Well, I don't know why. There's nothing. He's not really gaining much there. He's going to have to be much slower to get round the corner because the second corner, if he puts his foot down between this first part of that double right hand on the second, the cars just want to go drag wide, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Or spin as well.
Oh yeah. Okay, so SRI, Demon R side by side. Steve F1 dips a wheel. I mean, maybe Gary is at this point just trying to give Steve F1 a slipstream, but like I say, if Gary was further up the road, Steve F1 would actually go faster. I mean, I'm guessing Gary's potentially realised that a little bit because he's not behind Steve F1. Oh, and Steve R got sideways and nearly put SRI into the pits.
Yeah, what's Steve F1's time this time? I went 12.
Yeah.
12.8. So,
and it would have been faster had
5/10 faster.
Yeah,
roughly.
But it would have been even faster though. But in the middle sector when Gary took that tight line, Gary's got wide. Yeah, so it's at this point now. This gap comes down. This is where, I mean, to be fair, SRI's going to lose the boost as well. But yeah, so it's definitely an unusual. I mean, I've said it a few times. It's an unusual dynamic, and Gary's gone sideways there because it's not a feature that would normally happen in the races because we wouldn't normally have 2 categories of cars as we've got Nelly here, not far away from Jimmy. Is that SGP?
Was that Artpal behind? Was that Artpal behind the Group 4s? It might not be actually if he's here. I don't know, I'm confused with all the... yeah, SGP behind.
Yeah, SRI. Yeah, it is Artpal, or is it Twilight?
No, it's Twilight. It's Twilight.
Yeah,
it's the time on screen.
Yes. Unless Art... No, there's Art
Plus,
Pal.
there's a pal. If
Yeah.
he's getting closer, he's going to have traffic to get through, and
Look at SRI's tyres, though.
he's not making it to the end, is he?
No. And some people may say, well, we've gone past halfway and he's only just past halfway on his tyres. That may be true, but the more wear on your tyres, the more they slide, the more they wear. So if you've done 50 and 50, like 50% of the race, 50% of your tyres, that second 50% is going to disappear a lot quicker. So I think SRI is going to...
That's what she said.
All right. You know what's interesting? Actually, on the pack cam, SGP trying to make an overtake on Nelly into the hairpin. Wow, now SGP's got boost, Nelly hasn't. And that's kind of what I was saying earlier about a Group 4 with boost will be able to do lap times around about the 110s. Nelly making a move on him back now, is he? No, not going for it. Steve F1 still behind Gary as the big time sideways. And SRI down low.
Please go for the pits.
Okay, so what we've got here now, then Steve F1, his last lap was a 1:14. Demon R right behind an inch. Demon R not going for the overtake, bump drafting him. Why would he do that?
Looking after his tyres.
Or wants Steve F1 to be closer to Gary.
Or to slow him down.
To slow him down.
Or is Demon R going for a pit and wants him closer to Gary so he's slow through the pit stop?
I mean, that's a good point, because if, like when SGP and Twilight pitted lap 9, they weren't really catching much. But Gary got in that mix, slowed the Group 4s down, would actually let SGP and Twilight catch back up. Oh, Jason.
Nearly bumming critical there. Teammate on teammate action there.
I'm wondering, if SGP and Jason have pitted again.
Demon R's low. Demon R's going for the pits back cam.
That he is. Because SGP was behind Nelly. Jason's behind Critical, so they've either pitted again or they've just been lapped after pitting once. Critical's had some pretty interesting lap times though. He's gone from 11s and 12s to 11s and 10s. Has closed that gap up to Nelly. As on the pack cam, that is Twilight on the back of either Steve F1 or Steve F1.
F1.
Okay, Critical has really closed that gap up.
Steve
Well,
went wide and Twilight's caught right up the back of him.
Nelly's slow. Nelly's had a major slow moment through the first corner. He's plummeting. He's plummeted. His car's still going, but he is very, very slow. I don't know if there's a fuel contamination issue or something like that. So here's Jimmy with SGP on his rear. So I'd be interested to see what SGP's lap times have been, because Jimmy's been doing 11s, 12s, and he's even done a 10. So for SGP to catch up, he's got to have been doing 10s or lower. I mean, he's not going to catch him on the straight here. You know what? SGP has pitted again. Look, he's on nearly new tyres.
Yeah, he pitted what, a lap or two ago?
Yeah.
Maybe 3 at the most?
Yeah, something like that. And yeah, I mean, he's kept well close to Jimmy. Might even be able to pass him in this middle sector. As we did have both cameras looking at that. As on the pack cam, that's Jason, and now that's Jimmy looking back at SGP. Look at the speed through the tighter line for the Group 4. And the move around the outside. Holy cow.
Jimmy's going to get him kind of on the straight as well.
Maybe.
So SGP's just trying not to lose as much time through this middle sector, because if he's stuck behind the Group 3 going through this middle sector, he's going to lose a lot of time. Who's that? Is that Gary? Gary's won it?
Yeah, that is Gary, and here comes
SGP.
So that's Jimmy. So yeah, that's a move for position for SGP on Gary. And SGP's pulled away from
What's that going to do in the Group 4s now that Gary isn't in that position?
Well, it's
Is
gonna.
it?
It's killed Steve F1 at the boost. Well, it's going to kill Steve F1 and Twilight, but it will allow Demon R and SRI to close that gap in quicker after making their pit stop.
Yes, Gary's on for a purple sector.
Yeah. Now, in a way,
that's weird. We've just seen him spin. He's on for a purple sector. Does that work?
my brain can't take this. In the background, we've got Jason bump drafting Critical. Again, how does that work? But again, I mean, SGP's lap times were in the 110s. Steve F1 has not got a lot of tyre left. He is going to need to pit at some point. Artpal is ahead of formerly ahead of Steve F1 here. So I'm guessing Artpal has got past Steve F1 and Twilight.
Looks like for the pits.
Yep.
Yeah. And then that's Gary going past, so...
Well,
how much has Demon R and SRI picked up on from SGP?
Well, yeah. Not only that, how much have they gonna...
That's him going through the straight.
Yeah.
Up, start finish straight, so... It depends how Gary goes.
Well, Steve F1 could actually do now with Gary dropping back a few places to slow down the lead Group 4s. The last thing Steve F1 now needs is for Gary to find some pace and bugger off up the road. Well, I've never commentated on a race like this. Okay, Demon R on the back of SRI, and if they've got any sense, which they haven't, they'll work together. Jason is still right behind Critical in the background. Critical is actually not far away from Jimmy, who is just there. So we've got SGP behind Formula Gap, Twilight behind SGP. These three are for position. Then we've got Jimmy in second place, Critical in third, and then Jason, who's in eighth. Now, I doubt Jason's going to bump draft Critical down the straight, but he's definitely been keeping up with him, which means that Jason's been lapping in the 110s. Demon R and SRI, they aren't smart. They're side by side down the main straight.
Yeah. Well, it depends who you're asking is going to be the smarter one, Demon R or SRI.
Well, no comment.
That's a tough answer.
Yeah, I thought you for a minute you were going to say that's a toss-up, and say only one of us does that. Okay, so Critical all over the makes babies. Yeah. Oh, Critical! Oh, it's Jason just one turn Critical. I don't think he did, but anyway.
Where's Gary? Gary's still ahead of SGP there.
Yeah, he's ahead of Jimmy still as well.
I bet Jimmy's going to be lapping him, so I think Jimmy in this corner's cost SGP a little bit of time there. Too close. But now...
Oh, someone pitted. Twilight heading into pits. I was going to say, Critical spinning will have had zero effect on the boost because Critical was in third, spun, and is still in third. So that's had no difference. Demon R is now ahead of SRI as they come into the first corner, and they are not far away from the rest of the Group 4s. Where is Steve F1 though? Oh, Gary's had a moment.
He's tight again.
Yeah. Is he aware that Jimmy behind him, it's a blue... Yeah, I was going to say, is he aware it's a blue flag situation? I think he is. Yep, he's let Jimmy through. Now he needs to get on with it. Or no, actually, no. For Steve F1's benefit, he needs Gary to hold these guys up.
Yeah, that's what he's needing, but Gary seems to...
He's packed it, booked it.
Yeah, but I don't think he's at that second ahead, so these guys aren't getting the boost. No.
Yeah.
SGP's near enough ready to overtake them in that corner.
Yeah, and now Demon R and SRI are on the back of Jason. There's two cars coming around the final corner. That's Critical, that's Nelly, That's a battle for third and fourth as Jason is on the back of SGP here. SGP taking the lower line. It is faster, hurts the tyres more as they weigh their way through the real turn one. I would guess then Steve F1 is the blue arrow that is just about to enter the final long corner. So he's got a long way to go to catch up the rest of the Group 4s. But, I mean, looking at, again, SGP's last 3 lap times have been 1:13, 1:12, 1:13. I can guarantee you Steve F1's will have been in the 1:10s. So he is closing that gap up 3 seconds a lap at the moment.
Oh no, Gary's off here.
Yeah.
SGP going round outside. Is Jason going to follow?
Well, this is what Steve F1 needs.
Yeah, he needs SGP covering that inside line. Now, it's what Gary does from here. Is he going straight past SGP?
Ooh.
Jason in the pits. Jason in the pits.
I'm surprised by that. So Gary makes the move. Demon R SRI side by side still. Critical is not really closing. Well, I suppose we'll close the gap up a bit on the straights. But yeah.
But look at times Demon R was doing without any with
traffic.
the boost. 109s. SRI would have been doing similar.
Yeah, absolutely. And both of them now ahead of SGP. Demon R and SRI's tyres will be fresher than SGP's. Or will they? Yes, I think. I think
Pitted twice. He pitted in lap 19 or 20. I think it would have been because it was 22 we seen him with the fresher tyres. What lap did SRI and Demon R pit on it? I think it was
20.
Was it 20?
It was 19, yeah. I think, well, maybe they got the same life of tyres then. Okay, side by side, once again they go into the final corner, up the banking. Anyone wobbly? Not on this occasion. There is Critical. Nelly's not far behind, but it's not exactly close at the moment. Art Pal, though, is still leading the race and should mention that if the result finishes like this, Art Pal's winning the championship as Demon R SGP side by side, SRI comes the inside and through turn 1 they go. Oh, Demon R diving to the inside, taking the Gary line. Is it going to work?
Also, these Group 4s are going to be a lap down, so they'll finish a lap earlier.
That is a good point. Oh, it's Demon R. Big.
Side was Steve. SGP's getting nowhere to go. Gary staying away from these Group 4s now, so
Yeah.
that might be compromising Steve F1 here.
It might be, but something that might help Steve F1 and Twilight actually, and Jason, who we're going to have to try and catch up, is that Critical is there, which means these guys are going to be in a blue flag situation potentially by the end of this straight. So yeah, let's see how this goes. SRI, no bump drafting going on here. SGP, any bump drafting? He's not close enough.
He's taking a higher line compared to everybody. He's trying to save the tyres. Maybe his car is evil on the tyres and he's trying to save them now for a couple of the last lap. As we're 3 wide, but I think SGP dropped out.
I think Gary just got a little wide as well as on the pack cam. That's Jason with Twilight just ahead of him as SGP trying to make the move up the inside of SRI. Critical still closing that gap. Who was that in the background? Oh, that'd have been Nelly in the blue. It's getting a bit gloomy here as SGP's up the inside of SRI.
Yeah, but then it's a double righter, so SRI he won't have the line advantage, but as SGP's went round, oh, contact.
Yeah, I'm just having a look at. Oh, Twilight's off on the pack cap. Jason will say in Swedish, "Thank you, what a move!" And here comes Critical. He can make this move. He should be able to get past.
Where's he going? He's nowhere to go.
I wouldn't have gone on that side. Okay, well, suppose, I mean, this is now a blue flag situation. Oh, Demon R's
Demon's
wide!
getting out the way for the blue flag.
Yep,
SRI, did SRI just block critical?
it might. SGP definitely has. He's parked it on the apex. Now he's moving out of the way. Yeah, this is one of the messier blue flag situations. It's like a protection zone around critical at the moment. Let's see, can critical get ahead? He has now with SGP and Demon R. SRI has taken that opportunity to bugger off up the road a bit. Let's see, SGP's gone wide. SRI's got a decent run on the back of Gary here. And have a good run through the final corner as we see Art Pal, who is still in those 111s and a couple 112s. Jimmy is not that far away. I'm guessing it's just going to have been the odd lap or two where Jimmy's made a little boo-boo. Critical now with
12s,
yeah.
111s, nearly in the 11s, so a couple of 12s there. Gary, sorry, I did see Gary's time.
SRI's been in the 12s as Demon R tags the barrier. Yeah, it confused me for a minute. I saw an orange and white car behind Critical and I thought it was Jimmy, but it wasn't. It was Demon R as Critical still hasn't got past SRI. Is SRI gonna get out the way?
SRI, how much should SRI pull over and let Critical through here? Could SRI end up with a penalty for not getting out of the way?
Well, it depends. I mean, in this middle sector, the Group 4s are faster, as we can see especially with them having the boost. As we can see with Demon R nearly overtaking Critical. So I think in some respects, in that middle sector, maybe they don't have to get out the way. Should they fight him? Definitely not. Whereas Critical now should be able to just bugger off. And who's that in the background? That's Steve F1.
So he has caught up.
Yeah.
Critical hasn't taken SRI yet.
What?
He's gone through up the inside. It's SRI. SRI's. Has he moved over yet? Where's SRI? SRI's on the ground.
He's moved over. He moved out of the way like Demon R did. Now it's Gary that's in a blue flag situation. I'd be interested to see what lap time Steve F1 has been doing, because these guys behind Gary and around Critical have been doing 112s, 113s. If Steve F1 had been... Oh!
SRI's around.
Yeah, he's always around.
There's 2 laps to go, or maybe 1 lap to go. I don't know, because these guys have been lapped.
I think
so they'll finish on 34.
Yeah, I think Art Pal is about to start the final lap of the race. Yes, he is. That's on the pack cam.
Demon R on the wall.
Oh, SGP.
Wait, who's that? It's Gary. Oh, I thought that was Gary, not Steve F1.
Steve F1's got sideways. I think SGP may have helped Demon R into the wall as they both get a little bit wobbly. Maybe that's why SGP was a little bit slower heading into the final corner. So Steve F1, 2 laps ago, wasn't near this battle. Now he is the lead. Group 4. Demon R taking a high line to take an inside line. He's going for it. Can he keep up road?
Steve F1 trying to switch back here, and then as we've got Steve F1, he's got back there. SGP coming through.
Yeah, having a cheek.
But SGP's going deep. Is he going to straighten it up and try and get the better exit? I think he has.
Art Pal's in the final corner.
Yeah.
3 wide. Ooh! Okay, here we go then. I guess we'll see that on the pack cam. Art Pal, though, is going to take victory here at Blue Moon. He's going to take the championship as well. And then we've got Jimmy in second. But that battle for the lead of the Group 4s is absolutely still kicking off through the final corner. SGP ahead of Steve F1. Oh, a bit of a wobble. Who's going to get it? Who's going to get it? Gary's going to get the 5th. And it's SGP ahead of Demon R and Steve F1. SRI, then Nelly, who's actually in 4th. Wow, and then Jason in 10th. Twilight. So Jason and Twilight weren't able to close that gap up at the end. Massively unfortunate. I would guess because they pitted like 2 or 3 laps after Steve F1, so they just needed those extra 2 or 3 laps, which would have been what, potentially 3 to 4 seconds a lap faster, so 9 to 12 seconds they could have gained if they'd pitted at the same time as Steve F1. But there you go. That's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. Okay, well, on the screen now is going to be a picture of the newest DGT champion, Art Pal. Now, Ray wasn't quite right earlier with the colour of the star.
What is it? Is it pink?
No,
Gotta be a pink.
no, it's a yellow.
Yellow.
It's a yellow. It's
That's-
definitely not
That's
gold.
a yellow.
Well,
That's a yellow.
pissy yellow. Yeah, that means you've got a shitty brown. But no. So the way I've kind of done it, and I think I remember having a conversation with someone about it the other day, and I can't remember who was there. Yeah. So on the standing.
So you say as someone, that means you never informed all admins.
No, I'm sure we were all there. I'm sure we were all there. I'm pretty sure. Actually, you know what? I think it was when it was while we were recording this race footage. But we've all slept and drank since then. It must have been because I haven't been online since then. So that must have been when it was. Okay, so basically what I put forward, and I'm going to say everyone agreed, was on the championship standings and the race results from this championship. The Group 3s have been highlighted with yellow. The Group 4s have been highlighted with green. So the Group 3 champion gets a yellow star. The Group 4 champion will get a green star. So Art Pal is the newest DGT champion, although it is, I don't want to say it is only a yellow star. It is a yellow star. Well done, Art Pal. Fantastic.
Did you say it was only a brown star when the guys won the brown stars?
I don't know.
That's a
Did I say to Connor it's only a platinum star when I gave it him in person? That sounds wrong. Gave it him in person. Well,
it's only platinum. It's not gold. Sorry.
No. But yeah, so
I've not reached that level yet.
No. But yeah, so okay, so Art Pal is the newest DGT champion, and well done. At the end of the day, he's won 8 of the 9 races. I think he's had 8 or 7 or 8 of the pole positions, and he has made the least amount of mistakes of everybody in every category, and he has been the fastest and most consistent of the Group 3s. And that's something that I have been impressed, not just with Art Pal, but definitely with Art Pal. The consistency. As we've seen throughout this championship, when we've looked at the lap times, it's like Art Pal's done, like this race, 111s, all the way across, all 111s, consistent. And that's how you can be faster. Bring in the consistency, and then you can be faster. So absolutely well done to Art Pal on that championship. Now, in a moment, Ray, we will take a look at the championship standing. The race result, and then the championship standings. So I just wanted to see if there was anything that you wanted to mention before we go into looking at the race result.
Well done, Art Pal. Well done.
Yeah. So, is a yellow star better than a brown star?
Fuck no.
Well, I mean, some would say the brown star's better because there was the danger of everybody trying to whack you off.
Oh, aye.
All right. Okay, let's take a look then at the confirmed race results.
A funny boy situation.
Yeah.
When she used to be a man.
Yeah. Oh god, can you imagine if she actually was? Well, okay, this is very out there. So, I saw some comments about identity people. And I wonder what would happen if a doctor said to a lady, "It's time for your smear test." What would that person say? Okay, or well, you can try, but you'll have to move me nuts out of the way. Anyway, let's take a look at the conference race result because I don't believe there was any reports placed. Although I do believe that Critical did think that his latest spin was caused by his teammate, but unfortunately it was a little bit like Grosjean in Baku, blaming Ericsson. Jason was nowhere near Critical. Well, it was in the shot, but it was nowhere near. Okay, so conference race result. Artpal taking the victory and the pole position, maximum 21 points for him, getting that bonus pole position point. Jimmy, I've got to say, he's done fantastic this race. Okay, he's 12 seconds off Artpal, but again, Jimmy's consistency has been fantastic over the course of this championship. Critical, he's been up and down and around, but he had the pace today, really. He was in the 110s for towards the end. He got into his rhythm and recovered back to third place. With Nelly in fourth place, technical issue partway through that race. All of a sudden he couldn't see for a lap. Maybe it was a tinted visor or perhaps a George Russell "it's raining" moment. Formula Gary, fifth place, definitely involved in all of the action today. That's for certain. Entertaining, yes. Helpful to his teammate, sometimes and not others. But I think perhaps less errors from Gary on this occasion. Tough race for him though, because it is a tricky track when you haven't had any practice. Right, Ray, would you like to take us through the Group 4s?
SJP for 6th place, leader of the Group 4s. Demon R, 7th place, 2nd place, Group 4. Steve F1, 8th place, 3rd in the Group 4s. Yeah. And then SRI, 9th, 4th in the Group 4s. Jason, 10th, but 5th in the Group 4s. And then Twilight, 11th, which is 6th in the Group 4s. And I don't have the point system up.
That's all right.
Unfortunate.
Yep. SGP with the pole position. I mean, it's an interesting one for SGP. He qualified on pole. By the turn one, he was last, and he's finished the race in the front of the Group 4. So, and done 2 pit stops. So it's been an interesting race for him. And before this race, was the leader of the Group 4 championship, and has finished ahead of the other Group 4s with the pole position bonus point. So he will have opened that gap up, but it's not going to have been by a lot. So I think it's time then to take a look at the confirmed championship standings. And at this point, he knew he fucked up. Okay, quick interjection here, folks, before we do get onto the confirmed standings. Unfortunately, didn't notice until after what you're about to hear that I had forgotten to give Artpal and SGP their bonus points for their pole positions. So in order the conversation that you're about to hear, most of it is now irrelevant, or at least the mathematics is slightly wrong. So Artpal should actually be on 160 points, with SGP on 79 points, and on the team standings, the Twats have got 1 point extra, and the Power Trips have 1 point extra. Okay, let's get back to it. So, Artpal leading the way, 158 points. Is champion, he's 47 ahead of Critical, with a maximum 21 points available in the final race. Critical is second place on 111 points. He's actually jumped up to second, I think, now, with Nelly and Jimmy now tied in third on 110 points each. Rich Blues drops down.
That's sick. Even that second place is all still to play for with the three.
Absolutely.
111, 110, 110. these guys are going to be going hammering tongs or whatever the saying is.
Yeah,
I can't quite
Hammer
remember.
and Tongs is one of them. Yeah, or they're going to be going at it like a teenager on his first porno, or watching his first porno. Well, actually, that would mean it wouldn't be very quick. No, it wouldn't be very long. Anyway, I've got myself muddled there, so let's move on. Rich Blues is in 5th place on 91 points. With Rich Blues unable to race today, it has compromised his position in that battle for second a little bit, but he is still there in 5th place. Then we've got SGP, the leader of the Group 4s, in 6th place. Now, we'll get to Gary in a moment, but I just want to mention that SGP is how many points ahead of SRI? 7? Okay, so that championship is definitely not decided. We'll get onto the connotations of that one in a moment. But yeah, so SGP in 6th place on 77 points, and then I'll let you go through the rest of them, Ray.
I've got Gary, the wonderful Gary. We've seen quite a lot in that race, bumming his teammate and had a weird line into that double right-hander after the first turn. In 7th on 71 points. And I know you could not make this up.
No.
SRI in 8th place with 69 points.
And what's
What's
the number on his
SRI's?
car?
69.
Well, Gary's got 71, so he's got 2 in the top and 1 in the bottom. Oh,
and then just behind SRI, we've got Demon R in 9th on 61 points, so 8 points.
Yep.
Yeah, 8 points away from SRI, so still maybe all ready there. I don't know what the point system is when it comes to the Group 4s and how many point difference they could get and how far up they need to be and whatnot.
We'll get onto that in a sec.
And then Steve F1, who I think missed a race and DNF'd a race, 10th place with 54 points. And then behind him is Twilight in 11th position with 47 points, tied with Jason. Oh, sorry, excuse me, with 11 in 11th place. Sorry, with 47 points. But we have had a message to the page.
Oh.
Jason isn't making the next race.
Oh dear. So all Twilight needs to do is gain 1 point, and he's going to be ahead of Jason. And saying that, Conrad could get Jason then.
30th place with Conrad, that 39 points. It wasn't at the race today, but it could turn up in the last race.
Yeah.
We never know. And then we have that magical guy in 14th, Bob, with 12 points. How many races has he done? 2?
I think it is 2. Yeah.
12 points. That Ghost Rider with 12 points, and then you get Hay, Bunso, Tyre. Who the feck is Tyre?
They're not on. You don't have to worry about those ones. We only go down to Hay at the moment, and then seats available. I should have. The viewers will have no idea what you're on about because that ain't going to be on the screen. But anyway, right. Something I'll mention about with the Group 4s, and it may seem like we've focused quite a bit on the Group 4s today, but that's where all of the action has been today. SGP pretty much has won the championship. However, anything can happen. And the reason I say he's pretty much won the championship is because the way our points work is it's 20 points for a win, 17 for second, then it goes 15, 13, then 12, 11. So 20, 17, 15. So by 4th place, the points only go down by 1, which means that I think SRI would probably need to finish top of the Group 4s in about 5th place, with SGP either 16th or not scoring any points. So I don't think there'll be much movement between SGP, SRI, Demon R, Steve F1, because I think they're going to be battling together like we've seen today, and the difference between them is going to be like 1 or 2 points. But you never know what can happen in the DGT League, as we've seen today. Right, let's take a look then at the confirmed championship standings. Now, in top position, we have Team Twat, which is Artpal and Twilight, on 205 points. Which, is the championship over? No, not at all. Because you never know what can happen in the last race. Now, interestingly, is there something that you can notice of second place, Ray?
What's the speed? 171 points. Jimmy finished second that last lap. Where the Demon R finished second in the Group 4, so it might be a chance here.
Well, what has happened is Power Trips have been in second place for almost the whole championship, and they've dropped down to third place.
Rich, that's your fucking fault.
It is, isn't it? It's Rich's fault.
It's SGP.
Yep. How many points has SGP got? 77. To be fair, Rich has got 91, so SGP can't really say anything. But yeah, unfortunately, because Rich wasn't able to race today, it means that Jimmy's second place and Demon R's second place has bumped Trusting the Speed up to second place with 34 points available. Now, that would need Jimmy...
Oh my fucking god.
It would need Jimmy to get... Go on. Go on.
No, continue. We'll get to it when we get to it.
Alright. Okay, so... Oh my, I've just seen it. He is the only one that scored points. Okay, so... it would need Jimmy to get pole and win the race. That'd give 21 points. Then Demon R would need to score 13 points for them to tie, but because Art Powers had so many wins, then they would still... So Demon R would need 14 points, which means that Demon R would need to finish third overall, and that's not going to happen. Oh, and Art Power and Twilight would both need to not finish the race. So, yeah. I don't think that's happening, but we'll see. So, Trusting the Speed, second place, 171 points. Power Trips, down to third place on 168 points. 10 points ahead of BMW Fartlag, but that's Jason and Critical. Jason, as you've already mentioned, isn't going to be able to make the race next week. So, could the Fartlags overpower the Power Trips? Perhaps unlikely. Maybe fifth place, Rod on your Nelly on 149 points might be able to close that gap. Then in sixth place, we've got Jag 2 Wits, Formula Gary and Steve F1 going about the racing this season in ways we never expected. 125 points. And then Ray, if you would like to make your announcement.
Yeah, seventh place, we've got Hey Raker and the Baby Maker and 69 points.
Oh dear.
I might just sit out the last race.
Leave the last.
I've got 6.
Do that.
59.
I bet if you do that, what's the chances that Hay turns up and gets 1 point?
Yeah, puts it up.
And then in 8th place,
car number, driver champion points, and team points all in one line. Oh Jesus, couldn't make that up. Ghost, we have Ghost Rider, who is Bob with 12 points.
Yeah. Yes, that it is. Oh, well, what a race this one has been. Okay, in a few moments we will be signing off, but we'll quickly mention what track is the last race of the season.
It's Daytona.
Oh, yeah, Daytona, which having done a little bit of practice around, I don't think tyre wear is really going to be an issue unless you're perhaps in a Dodge Viper and your name's SGP, because that Viper, it's got good top line speed but doesn't like looking after its tyres. The lap times, without any boost, there's about 10 seconds between the Group 3s and the Group 4s. When the Group 4s have got full boost, I think the lap times are about the same, aren't they? They're around about the 150s. So it'll be interesting to see where that cut-off point is of the boost. So yeah, let's get ready for that one. Should quickly mention as well, for Critical and Nelly, we are now going to announce the next championship car. Not really.
Oh shit!
No, we're not. I'm just wanted to
Thank fuck.
No.
That's up to say. What one's the next one?
Well, what I will say is, we sort of hinted at it last week. We are going to be having at least a 2-week break after this championship. Then we are into our off season. During the off season, we will be doing races and we'll let the drivers know what that's going to be. There isn't going to be any videos or points or championships or anything like that. Us admins, we need a real good break on that one. We've been going, we've been doing videos and commentary, Ray, almost every week for quite a while now, and I don't know about you, my voice needs a break, and you need time to maximise your 69. So we will be having a couple of week break.
I need time away for your fucking jokes.
Well, yeah. Hey, I've not had any today. I've just genuinely been funny.
Well, maybe that's a way to go. Don't write down the jokes.
Yeah, just be funny. We will be doing some races in the off season, but we'll let the drivers know all about that. So for anyone that's a viewer, don't panic if you don't see any videos for a while. The next championship, the cars selected, we haven't been testing or anything like that, so don't panic. No one's been getting an advantage. But over the coming weeks, we will be dealing with the details of that championship so that we can let the drivers know what it's going to be.
I think we drove it once, and the person recommended it. Don't fucking drive it.
Yep. Said, I've tested a few cars. This one's brilliant. It's absolutely planted. And then he spun out like 5 times in 3 laps. So, good luck, everybody. But yeah, although it may have been after an update. So we'll see. Right.
Oh, yeah, that's a thing to take in point.
Yeah.
Good point there.
Yeah,
I'll give you brownie points for that.
Can I not have yellow star points?
Do you want the 6 or the 9?
Neither, thank you. Right, on that, thank you, Ray, for joining us on commentary.
No, it's been a pleasure, and we've got one more race to go, and it's been a fantastic season so far. I'm sure we'll have another fantastic race. Thank you to everyone, and thank you to the admins behind the scenes, especially this week. It's been a tough week. I'd like to thank everybody. So, everybody, thank you.
I thought you were going to go, thank you, and fuck off. But no.
That's next week.
Yeah, but yeah, I agree with all of the comments there. Yeah, thank you to everybody. Now you know what to do if you want to see how this championship is going to end. Well, actually, no. Before we mention, does RPAL have to do the Champions Challenge?
Well, I don't know. I get confused because we were. I thought he was to do it, and then in practice tonight. Bear in mind this is getting recorded on a Thursday. I thought that he didn't. So
well,
I'm
yeah,
confused, but
you might have missed a little bit of the conversation there. So I think part of the conversation was that technically, yes, ArtPal should do the Champions Challenge. However, if the team's championship is still up for grabs, then ArtPal shouldn't have to do the Champions Challenge. the question then would be that scenario of Art Pal not finishing, Twilight not finishing, Jimmy winning and getting pole, and Demon R finishing third overall. If that is a scenario that we believe can happen, then no, they shouldn't have to do the Champions Challenge, or at least Art Pal shouldn't have to do the Champions Challenge. But
he'll have to do it next season.
yeah,
First race, championship challenge from last season. Get on it.
To be fair, I think we could actually impose it on him in this final race. What I will say is when the conversation...
but
I mean, to be fair, none of the admins knew what the point situation was when that discussion was happening. So I don't think the team's title fight is on anymore, I'm afraid. But I mean, it would take for Art Pal and Twilight to both not score. And to be fair,
there's always a possibility.
There is. I mean, things if both of them found out that they couldn't race, and we realised we was going to have 9 drivers by the Sunday night when we raced on the Monday, then the race would get postponed a week, so they would still have a chance. It would literally take for both of them to have disconnections or rage quits. But even then, Demon R is not going to finish third overall, because, I mean, if we've got Art Pal, Critical, Nelly, Jimmy, Rich, Gary, that's 6. Am I missing someone? I don't think so. If Art Pal doesn't finish, that still leaves 5 Group 3s that Demon R would have to be ahead of. If Gary has a tough race, that still leaves 4 Group 3s he'd need to be ahead of. If Critical or Nelly don't turn up, that's still 3 cars that would finish ahead of him.
So the teams is kind of in the bag, is that what you're saying?
No, I am not saying that. I'm saying trust in the speed.
It's in the speed. But if Demon R needs to finish ahead of Group 3s, then that's virtually
yeah, it is virtually, like I say, even if there's 4 Group 3s and one of them's Gary, who has a tough race like today, Gary's still probably going to finish ahead of him, but there'd still be 3 or 4 other Group 3s to beat. It's not that. But we'll let the other admins see the points, we'll see what they say, and then if Art Pal does have to do the Champions Challenge, then given this type of circuit that Daytona is, normally what we would say is you start at the back, you wait on the finish line, and when the lead car gets to the final corner, you can go. But with Daytona, the final corner is a big fat oval corner, and by the time Art Pal could get going, it'd probably be being passed. So it might be a case of we'll position him somewhere, maybe turn 1 or something, and when we get to, I don't know, the finish line or something like that, he can go, because at least then all of the other cars are going to have to be slowing down. Because I know when I did it at Bathurst, I was on the start-finish line, and as cars were heading into the final corner, I was able to go. But yeah.
Well, it is Daytona, and there's that curb that people kind of miss it, and we have had one driver disqualified, so that could happen to Art Pal. That could happen.
It could happen to Art Pal, it could happen to Twilight.
Yeah, and it could happen to a lot of drivers. Like it could happen to Nelly, Critical, Jimmy. Well, it can't happen to Jimmy
because he needs to fucking win.
Yeah, and then it could happen to SGP, Gary, SRI, in which would.
So, are you suggesting that pretty much everyone could get disqualified apart from Jimmy and Demon R, and they'd finish first and second?
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, you're definitely going to want to keep an eye out for this one next week, folks. I'm sure we'll find out what's going to happen with that. So, once again, finally, thank you, Ray, for joining us. And to all of you out there, you know what to do. Hit like, subscribe, and smash that notifications bell. And we'll see you all again soon.
It doesn't cost you anything. Ta-da!